Sure, there's Coke and Pepsi in there. Yeah, that's a choice.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, why don't we change it up a little bit? Wish I had a wife. Don't have a wife going to the new side of the board. Well, say we want to be libertarians, but we don't want our conservative buddies to be hard up about it. They want to be conservatives, we want them to be conservatives, they want to be liberals. They can be whatever they want. So you got, let's do trees now. Let's my trees. We got the liberal tree, yay. We got the conservative tree, yay. We got us. We go off the board because we're awesome. But how can we have all these trees all at the same time? How can we have Coke and Pepsi all at the same time? Well, it's the same concept. All we have to do to subscribe to any particular tree is come up with a new form of vote.
New form of
Vote.
vote.
That's it. Like, we vote for products with our dollars. You can vote Pepsi or you can vote Coke. You can vote conservative or you can vote liberal. You can vote NDP or green. You can vote whatever you want. All we have to do is create a vote. Create a monetized vote where we can't have an infinite amount of votes. You go to the town hall meeting. Who likes this idea? I do. Who likes this idea? I do. Who likes the idea that completely opposes it? I like that too. Does it really make a difference? No. Did you have to think about anything?
No.
No. But what if it was like every vote you make, you gotta spend $1? So who likes this idea? Oh, fuck, that's gonna cost me $1. Better think about that a little bit, you know? We can't use dollars, because we use dollars for buying our Coca-Cola and Pepsi. So we just make a new kind of coin, or symbol, or program, or anything, where we just throw another numeric value into our voting system, our government legal system. We'll be golden. People can vote on whatever the hell they want to be governed by. None of this. You have to have this tree. That is it. You get nothing but Coca-Cola. You want Pepsi? You only get Coke. Wait 4 years. You might get Pepsi. Because that's bullshit. That's a pile of shit. We can buy Coke and Pepsi whenever we want. We can be governed by whoever we want, whenever we want. And that's the future. It's either that or this forever. Triangles. Everybody likes the triangle. It leads to shit. And that's my presentation.
Okay, question?
Yes.
So what stops businesses or corporations from buying mega votes?
How do you buy a vote? You can't use dollars to purchase these votes. You could, but votes hold real value in society. Like, would you give up your power for a couple of bucks? You could.
Yeah.
But then, you could also say, fuck you. Go do your own projects that earn you your own votes. Yes?
So how do these tokens, or whatever they are, how do they
Come into existence?
how do they affect these different parties? Like what does it entitle them to do?
That's where the magic is. It's like with Coke and Pepsi. Yeah? Which company's more powerful? The one you give more money to. Right? Which government is stronger and more got it together as a working organism?
Or it's a thieving organization.
A what?
Or it's a thieving organization.
Exactly. But if they're a thieving organization, say Coke's $1 and Pepsi's $2, both pretty much the same. Who the hell's going to buy Pepsi? You must really want that Pepsi. Yes.
So how does how does this eliminate the coercive effects of government on your own life by having people voting on things that affect you, but you've used your votes and now there's other people voting on things that affect you? Like, how does it eliminate the coercive effects of government? The force, the violence, the aggression on your individual freedom?
They're very complex questions, sir. Could you rephrase it?
How do you stop? Okay, so people vote for enough trees that say they put enough votes in that says we're going to take $5 from everybody for social justice, and we're going to take $75 from everybody for stopping climate change. But if you don't vote for having $75 taken from you for climate change,
Then you don't get $75 taken. You didn't agree to it, so it cannot be forced upon you.
okay,
That's
Bottom line.
interesting.
Bottom line.
That's interesting.
All taxes will be voluntary as well. And all this will sort of slowly boil to the surface as
yeah.
the way it'll run itself over time. I'm not saying right away we're going to
No.
say, hey, voluntary taxes, because
Yeah.
then we're going to get sand kicked in our face and it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But eventually people will come to the realization that
it's a baby step
it's a baby step.
towards that system.
This is the first step. You gotta make a new number to play with.
Okay. But you see, you're focusing on parties, and I think the real political structure, the way it should be, is let's say for every 1,000 or 10,000 people, there's one representative, and you get all the representatives, let's say just around BC, for example, but get them together and they decide what to do, because with the Liberal and the other parties, you have the dictator running the party and says what goes. But whereas you have a bunch of independent people not aligned with party or anything, then they're free to make a decision what their electorate wants them to say.
Yes.
And you see, and focusing on other parties, we've got to get rid of the parties, period.
Well, they'll sort of sort themselves out, like trees do in the forest. People think trees are passive. Trees actually fight.
But you see, the trouble is you're fighting with two different sides. You see, we are living people. Governments are corporations. Corporations don't have a death. And they're also very psychotic.
But corporations also do now have the same rights as living human people.
But they have more rights. They can put more money to the political parties.
But that's the beauty of these. Yes to everything you said. Yes to all of it. You can have the individual that's not aligned to any party, and if they say, hey, you know, I like this gentleman's judgment, I want him to be my representative, take all my votes. Just take them. I like your ideals, I like where you're going with this, you can just have them. Thank you. Thank you for not screwing me over. Could screw you over, but they're your votes. Don't give them to anyone that's going to screw you over. Think. This will force people to be like, oh, I have to use my brain, and if they use them, yes.
So how do you combat the ideas that people have it ingrained in them that government has to use force because the majority need to get what they voted for? Like, people don't...
Why do they have to use
If you
force?
didn't vote for stealing from people, we wouldn't have fire departments, we wouldn't have police departments, we wouldn't have roads. We need taxes, what about the roads? And government lives and dies off of theft. It doesn't... Nobody donates money to the government, you donate to charities. But, so how does this eliminate the coercive system of taxation?
Voluntary. It'll all become voluntary. This will be the whole point. This is all voluntary. You have your coins, your votes, and you have the choice to be stolen from. If you don't like it, kick up a fuss about it. If you're being stolen from, go to the police. Go to the peace officers. Go to whatever we need that far down the line to make sure that, you know, everyone's being treated fairly, and the governments that do steal from people are still going to do that. But, like, until the people running them die. Yeah. That's going to happen. There's no avoiding it. But everybody dies. And if there's sick individuals in the world that are like, hey, you know, I like what Granddad did, stealing from people, making everybody impoverished. I'm gonna go do that. More power to you. See how many people really vote for Yes.
You mentioned wait for 4 years. How is this different than a 4-year cycle? Is it constantly fluid?
It's constantly fluid.
So a project could be underway and then be undermined because it lacks support halfway through it, or which is not necessarily bad, but that's fine. I just wonder how it works.
Well, that's a good question. I haven't figured all that out yet. Personally, I'm just trying to start with the bottom line of how.
So on any
we have to
given
run
day,
our
I can move my boat around.
No. Once it's spent, it's spent.
For how long?
So you earn it back.
So what?
Earn it back.
How do you do that?
That's to be decided by the group. It's like,
What
hey,
group?
you know, whatever group we decide uses our little political scheme. Maybe the Libertarian Party. 2014.
But to get this going, you're going to have some way of issuing and controlling vote power per person. Let's say you get 10 votes or 100, whatever it is, but each person gets the same thing. How it's like printing money. You have to control it the same way.
Yes. It can only be earned, though. You can't
How
just...
do you earn it?
Yeah, but you still have to control it.
That is going to be fun. That's really fun. Set up projects within your group, your little organization. Say, hey, you know, I want there to be sidewalks. All right, well, you could earn yourself 100 votes if you go out and you make those sidewalks. That's a lot of power. That's 100 votes.
Who
Everyone-
decides what a sidewalk's worth?
we all do as a collective. Say we all have to pay into it. Say we want sidewalks. How badly do we want sidewalks? I want sidewalks so bad I'll put 5 votes on it. I'll put $5 or whatever votes on making sidewalks. And if everybody does that, that money is there to be collected. Whoever, it doesn't matter who does it, as long as it gets done. That whoever does it though gets paid.
And only the money that comes from those votes builds sidewalks.
I'm confused.
Pardon?
I'm confused.
Only the money in our coffer is for sidewalks. Only the money for the sidewalk votes goes to build sidewalks, nothing else.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can only spend your things on what you want to spend them on. You can't take it back after. If you want to backtrack, if you say, oh wait, you know, I learned more about this sidewalk project, I'm against it. You can't take your vote back. You can spend another vote against the project. There will be a yes and a no. Do you want sidewalks? No. Spend a vote on it. Say no. You want sidewalks? Yes. Spend a vote on it. Say yes. It's going to cost you either way. But it also makes it if you're dickering, if you're just fighting over it, I want sidewalks, I don't want sidewalks. Those guys end up real broke real fast. And if you can learn to get along, like the real issues, the things that people want, those will be the things that stay. They might not have a lot of votes on them, but everyone else will be dirt poor and those things will last. Yes.
What about the roads?
Same deal.
Same as it's always been, gas tax.
So
You want roads?
Transit taxes.
there's no taxes.
It's all charity, basically. If you see your roads being destroyed, hey, go to your MP or online or whoever we're going to organize it and say, you know, we need roads. Here's $20. Yes.
It's not the Venus, based off the Venus project.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, perfect.
I don't
Have
think
you
so.
seen Zeitgeist?
Yes.
And you know how there's this, out of it, it's like the Venus project where
Second cycle.
it's this
Not the
computer
first one.
program that collects all of the resources and categorizes them all in the world, and then it allocates them,
Oh, yeah.
and you can vote online and do all this stuff online, but that this computer is a government, not governments, and it's like a totalitarian Skynet scheme. You haven't heard of the Venus Project?
So
Oh, okay.
that sounds all fine and dandy, but you know, I don't want a computer to be my government. I want my peers to be my government. I want to be governed by my peers. You know.
Well, actually, the way that computer control system would work is it would look at the whole area of product to resource, utilization, everything, give you the information, and then you take the vote on how you interpret the information has been computer generated for you.
And David Suzuki and the IPCC are offering to do the very same thing
Yeah.
as we speak.
So,
Okay, but you see, that's, if you had a government-controlled but not spy organization just doing scientific research.
Scientific, interesting. According to Scientific of David Suzuki, the IPCC and Agenda 21 is absolutely justified.
and according to the science of like the Pope during Aristotle's time, the world was flat
Mm-hmm.
and the universe revolved around the
The
Earth.
totalitarianism
'Cause that
of
was
it is
science.
alarming.
But yes, because the way it's being used today, that is
And
scary.
it's a scam. It's based on lies and deception.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to
That's the problem.
Okay.
You know how we've all sort of gotten a little bit confused as to how this is going to make any sort of difference? That's exactly what they think too. They're confused. They don't understand. Fuck 'em. Let them do their little thing. It's not going to affect us any. Big money. We're awesome. We're so rich with our cigars. They don't understand that just a little tweaking of the system, a little bit of making it sting when something bad happens, it's really going to straighten our whole society out. It's going to straighten the whole thing. It's going to be slow. I'm not going to say, bam, overnight, we're
It
done.
can't be overnight.
We won't. It'll probably be 40, 50 years by the time we start to really notice, wow, things aren't so bad anymore. We're not going to war, we're not shooting anybody, our political group is number one, nobody cares, there's NDP and liberals and stuff, they're still doing their thing, but they're little babies in comparison to the great, grandiose, gigantic libertarians who believe in freedom and will pay with a new kind of vote for their freedom.
I'm still a little concerned about the controlling of the creation of the utilities.
Well, I would like to do it real simple. Like, if you sign up for the organization, every time you show up to a meeting, here's 10 votes. Make them last, make them worth it, set up a project, make them a prize, do whatever you want with
And
them.
how do we keep them authentic?
We can make them. We can make physical coins if we really felt like it. Be a lot of work. We could do it. It's not like,
Don't forget King Henry's tally stick. You ever seen Money Master?
Yeah.
He took a stick, and it was just a random screwed up stick.
Yeah.
oh,
And he split it down the middle, and well, sticks are random, right?
Hmm.
And so you had to piece each stick back together
oh.
to match it, and that was $1. And the king kept one, and you had to have the other categorized, and it had to match.
Oh.
That would have been a lot of work matching them, though,
The-
man. You think
Bank
you
of
bring
England,
one,
that
and they got
Bank of
how many
England-
they got to match it up to?
The Bank of England was originally bought with tally sticks, and
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
it switched over.
Yeah,
to
that's,
That would have been a lot of counting and matching up, man. Holy crap. That would have been a
But I mean,
full-time
that's
gig.
what I'm just saying that somebody has to be in charge, and somebody has to be trustworthy to manage.
Like an accountant?
Like somebody that can be dragged up in front of the public to be held accountable
Yeah.
if they go crooked.
Well, there's not really a lot of ways you could go crooked with this. You could print your votes. You can make fake votes, but you're going to get caught real quick after that. If we make them like a coin, like an actual coin, if we use silver quarters, fake it. Go ahead.
Is it gonna be? It's not gonna be a computer-based system then,
Good.
because that could be manipulated so easily, whether
Yeah, I
it's
don't
I
in
was
any
thinking
way.
Physical hard votes within our little group, and then,
But to take it provincially and then federally, then it have to be go back to the old school paper ballot kind of.
but the thing is, you don't need to have a provincial and federal.
You just do it
You
community.
Get this community, and it just gets bigger.
Exactly. If
Yeah.
you give
Yeah,
a system to 1,000 people and say, travel across the world, this will grow so fast.
Success breeding success.
It'll be like, yeah.
Well, until the
One person will tell another, they'll
Rothschilds
tell
code.
two, they'll
Mhm.
tell 4, they'll tell 8. By the
Yeah.
time you know it, holy shit, the whole planet's covered in this system. The system will spread fast.
Yeah, but we all know
Changes will
government. We all know government's a farce. They're just little
Well, this would
puppets.
make-
So how is this going to?
This would be real. This wouldn't be a farce. This would be.
Yeah, but
If you want-
we'll still have
Yeah.
we'll still be going up against those those elite at the
Narcissistic
top,
egomaniac.
the Rothschilds and all them. So what's stopping them from crushing this before it even starts?
Effective. We'll completely bypass them.
But they won't have their puppet politicians in place. So that'll take. They won't go for
They'll
that.
still have them. No, they'll still have them. They'll have their puppet politicians. They'll have all of it. But before they know what's even happened, they'll have to abide by this just to survive. Because everybody in the world thought about how important their personal voting power was, like how important it is to have that $10 in your pocket to go get that pack of smokes that the Craven Room had. Quitting smoking sort of led through there. Yeah, just you'll really think a lot more, and then those thinking people will vote for you, and then they'll tell other people, even if they're not thinkers, even if they're just like, yeah, NDP, woo, where's my free beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those guys can still have it, see where it gets them, and then they'll wise up eventually.